Afternoon everybody, morning all, evening all, hope everyone's well, hope everyone's having a lovely day, staying safe and all that. Firstly, thank you for sticking with us. Been a bit of a dry spell for videos purely because of the fact that we have had the COVID and have been unable to get up here. So now that's out of the way, we can finally get a bit of work done. Not really much to do this season, at the end of this season. All I'm really doing at the moment is I'm just going to stick some insulation on the hives, and I'm going to put some fondant on as well. People might think it's the wrong time of the year to do it, but how I deal with my bees and the climate that I'm in, I know the cold nights are coming, and so I'm happy that we're doing it at the right time. I'm probably not going to be able to show you too much because it is raining, and again, I know it's not the perfect time to do it. However, with 3 kids, a full-time jobs, and bees, you kind of do the jobs when you've got time to do it. And right now, this is my time. So I'm get a couple of these hives done. I'll show you what I'm doing on at least one of them, hopefully, and yeah, update to follow. Back in a mo. Okay, I really ran through that quite quickly as I wanted to beat the rain, which is just about to start on me now, so I need to tidy all that up. But just before I do that, I thought I'd just show you what we've got going on. Hello, go. Come on, do you want to be on there? That's going to get closed in a minute. No, don't get grumpy with me. Come on. We're going to have to move. I'll move her in a second. But basically what we've got a kind of like a pillow on the top of all of our hives. So that has got basically like a wicker sort of basket, not wicker, it's the cloth stuff, but I don't know what to call it. And then underneath that we've got some fondant. Stuck on my finger. Underneath that we've got a block of fondant. Bees are under there, they seem fine, absolutely fine. So all we're going to do is just chuck the roof on top of that and close them up. And that's pretty much these guys done for the winter. But I'll just run through all the hives in just a second once I've closed Abby back up, so bear with me. So what have we done? Let's start down here just because it makes more sense. Abby, you've just seen what's inside Abby. So she has now got a super full of food on the bottom, brood box on the top, roof on the top. In there is fondant and insulation. That's to a deadite. I'll sort that out in a minute. This is Wonky Hive and Summer. I think it's Summer and Dema. Basically, I come down and that leg's completely snapped today, so I've had to lower them both down just as a precaution. So they're back in. So they're now back on ground level. So not ideal, not exactly how I'd like it, but it's had to be done rather than having them tumble. Both are still alive, exactly the same. Fondant, insulation, happy days. Those two are the same. That one up the same, the top. This hive, one of these hives, I can't remember which one, is quite low on bees and didn't have much in the way of food. So I'd be surprised if both of those hives make it. But all the other hives looking fine. Bee house, I was a bit worried about the bee house when I first saw it. I cracked open the top just to put some fondant on and obviously take the feeders off, so syrup feeders have come off everyone. So cracked the roof off, popped the fondant on, and there was nothing, no action at all. But once I had a little bit of a jiggery pokery around with the fondant, popping that on top, they soon started coming up. So everyone at the moment is alive. Everyone at the moment seems to be running okay, apart from one hive which is a little bit light. But apart from that, happy days. This place needs a bit of a refurb though, so these stands, I'll talk about that in a minute. These stands have been sorted. But yeah, back in just a moment, I'm just going to tidy up. My last little piece to camera before I call it a day. Like I said, not massive amounts of jobs to be done today with the bees, but one of those ones I don't really like doing because they're already getting ready for winter, and they're already getting all their stores up and all that sort of stuff. They don't want to be messed about, but I've got to go in there and I've got to do that. I probably could have waited for another few days, but the weather's on the turn. This is the first chance I get to do it and the best chance I get to do it, so logical sense says to do it now. So that job is done. Winterization pretty much sorted now. They've got food, they've got their insulation on, they've got their mouse guards on. There's nothing else I need to do with the bees until I treat in December. I'll pop up sporadically, just have a quick pop under the insulation to make sure they've still got some feed going, which they all should do, and make sure everything's okay. But apart from that, there's no bee work to be done now. The next thing for me to do, bee-wise, would be wax. So I'm going to be doing some wax very soon, do some candles and do some blocks for a couple of customers. But yeah, apart from that, there's no real bee work to do. One thing that we are very excited for, I've been mentioning it for quite some time, as some of you may remember, a little while back we lost our shed, which was standing pretty much here. We lost that due to a storm, which was either last year or year before, I can't remember now, maybe even this year. but we lost our shed. We've got a new shed coming on Wednesday, and it's a custom built shed by one of the chaps in the village that we live in, and really chuffed to bits having it come, because it's going to make life a lot easier. We can get the massive pile of bee boxes, which I don't know if you can just about make out in the background there, massive pile of bee boxes back there undercover and in a shed again. We can get the extractor back down here, we can get the lawnmower down here, and it just makes life easier having it all here. So that's coming on Wednesday. Today's Monday, so we're chuffed to bits about that. And I suppose the only other thing I was going to say was, apart from I'll do my thank yous, I'll do that in a minute, but obviously going into winter, beekeeping is a difficult channel for a YouTuber, or a difficult YouTube channel to really push and really grow and really give content for and stuff like that, because just winter nothing happens. So I'll put a question to yourself, and that is, what, if anything, you would like to see over winter? I've got obviously other interests outside of beekeeping. By all means, stick your comments below if you're interested. But obviously we've got the grapevines which need to go in. We've got to do some work with the wildflower bit which is going on. But obviously, like I said, we just need some content throughout the winter, which I might be able to do each year, which you guys might be interested in as well. So by all means, pop some comments below, give us your thoughts below and all that. Moving on to our final piece then. Massive thank you to everybody, as always, for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing and all that malarkey. We are ever so close, just a little pinch away from 800 subscribers. That is massive. And don't get me wrong, we're nowhere near monetization even if we hit 1,000, because our watch hours are miles below. But the 1,000 milestone is almost like it's a small YouTuber's sort of goal. Even if they don't get paid for anything, which, like I said before, it's not my main goal. It's not any goal actually, it's just bonus if it happens. A YouTuber's goal is to get to that magic 1,000. And if I could get to that magic 1,000, I'd be over the moon. But we are incredibly close to 800. So as always, massive thank you. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all having a lovely day. I'm gonna go and get this rubbish, bits and pieces, back up to the car and back home before I get too wet. And we'll see you all soon. All the best, yeah. Bye-bye.